Soothing oneself as an empath or an energy sensitive person. We either completely ignore it or we have at times or many a times misunderstood the true meaning of what soothing is. As energy sensitive people or empaths or people who are deeply compassionate about caring for others, we tend to get overwhelmed by the emotions of those around us, by their energies as well. So, in situations of disharmony, we would like to bring in more harmony. In situations of confusion, we would like to bring in more clarity. And when there's chaos, we do strive to bring in more ease, relaxation. This constant effort puts us in a hamster wheel that keeps continuing, that is always on the move, it never rests. And what that leads to is emotional exhaustion or our energy bank completely depleting, right? I am sure people who are of this nature, who are empathic, must have experienced that more than once, and probably they experience it almost on a day to day basis. The problem is when we are unaware of unhealthy ways of moving through this energy, of creating more ease for ourselves, and we resort to coping mechanisms or sources of ease that just provide us that fleeting sense of relaxation, it does not last that long. And in fact, after that relaxation period is over, that overwhelm of emotion, those energies, they just catch up to us quicker and probably in an even more impactful and denser manner. And we often distract ourselves with these temporary sources of ease by convincing ourselves with thoughts or even activities like one of them could be, if only I acted this way, if only I listened to what this person wanted more or acted 100% according to their needs, maybe things would have been different. That only leads to burnout emotionally and also a sense of loss of identity because we're constantly catering to somebody else's need rather than recognizing and honoring what we require. Another method could be, or another way could be, that we convince ourselves to watch that one more episode, complete that movie, watch social media constantly, or just watching this last video of this creator, XYZ, whatever reason that is. We convince ourselves to keep scrolling, to keep watching, just to get that dopamine hit, to feel better, and in turn actually ignoring what's happening in our energy field. This could very well be happening with food as well. This is the last time I'm ordering this, or this is the last meal that I'm having, or this is my last time for indulgence. There's nothing wrong with these coping mechanisms or want ways to soothe ourselves. It's just that they may not work in the long run. When we do it mindfully, when we do it consciously, when we do it without the judgment. Because what's happening, for for example, when it's the case of wanting to adhere to somebody else's needs, we are still ignoring what our needs are. When we are trying to adhere to achieving certain goals, so many times we think that only if I achieve this goal, only if I achieve this target, will everything be all right. When we think about the past mistakes or what went wrong in the past, we're still ruminating on the negative energy. We're still bringing that negative energy with us. Whereas what we are thinking is we are being brave, we are being smart, we are being intellectual. When we try to intellectualize what happened in the past rather than releasing, accepting, first of all, of course, accepting and acknowledging what energy was there, what state of being, what state of mind were we in, and then releasing it and not making it significant to today, to this present moment, to who you are in this present moment, it's all right. But when we make it significant for the future, for what we want to do, for the definition of who we are, that's when it goes downhill, right? We're still stuck in the past. We're still thinking that only these things define us. No, they have been a part of your journey, they have been helpful and a contribution in making you who you are at this point in time, but it does not entirely define who you are. mindlessly scrolling through social media or just watching this one last episode, one more thing, having that craving and satisfying it immediately, instead of thinking, what is it that my body is feeling? What are the emotions that I'm feeling? Are these energies even mine? So when we don't do it consciously, when we don't do it mindfully, these things, they are just like jetpacks which will get us to a certain point, but we have to chart the course forward. We have to create a sustainable, and the word ethical comes to mind, and the energy about ethical is being ethical with yourself, with your soul, with your being. You, as an empath, you are a person who's going to give so much to others. You definitely want to do it, and it's not coming from a place of lack. When it's not coming from a place of lack, when you know your boundaries, when you're established in the being that you are, that's when it's coming from a place of empowered, and from a place of an empowered empath, or an empowered compassionate person, where when you are not sacrificing your well-being in any way, shape, or form, that is when it's coming from an empowered place. In my own situation, I remember when I used to, it actually took me a long time to recognize that eating was actually, or food was actually, a coping mechanism or something that soothed me. So of course, when things were not all right, I was consuming that. That was my coping mechanism. But things, when they did become better as well, yet that memory is within me, right? How can I cope? It's through eating, or it's through watching television, or whatever it is. And so even when things were not as bad, the immediate response that I had to any stressful situation and to cope with that situation was to indulge in these things, which I did realize in the long run. And not even in the long run, actually, what happened was I did hit rock bottom in an emotional and mental sense. And that is when I realized this is not going to help me. It's not helping me actually at all, because I'm just consuming something, be it in any way, shape, or form, that's just giving me a momentary relaxation, and it's actually not helping me feel good about myself or even my life. So when this had happened at that point in time, my older self at that point in time would have hated this thing, which has become one of my biggest blessings in life, and that is meditation. And I know it's something that everyone listens to or gets as an advice time and again, and I would say for a good reason also, because meditation definitely for me has been extremely relaxing. When I was in 12th grade, I used to hate it. I mean, my own thoughts, or my own thoughts about who I am was so negative at that time. I remember listening to a guided meditation, and the person was saying, imagine yourself at the finish line. How I received that message from that guided, whoever was guiding the meditation was, I remember being so aggressive and angry as to, in my mind, I was fighting this person and arguing with them. How dare you say that? How can you say that I can reach the finish line when I know what all things I'm struggling with? So that was one of my most prominent and probably the first experience with meditation, and I hated it. But down the line, 6 years or 7 years later, it came to my rescue like nothing else, because it helped me soothe myself so much. The reason being is that the first meditation that I listened to and developed a habit of listening to was from Abraham Hicks, and their general well-being meditation is the one I started with. The best thing about that for me at that point in time was the words that they were saying were actually not far-fetched, or not too far-fetched. They were actually just concretizing or making this awareness foundational in you when you listen to that meditation, that you are the source of creation in your life in one way, shape, or form, and you are an extension of the creator, of that source energy. So on one hand they're saying these things, and on the other hand they were asking you to take a deep breath in and breathe out. So it was a very simple meditation, as in continuation to this statement where they did mention you are an extension of source energy, and source energy is the energy that's building, creating this world, that is maintaining the well being of this world. So, if you are an extension of that, if you are an extension of the energy that created this planet, that created the nature, that created this entire universe, all the heavenly bodies, including stars, planets, what have you, if that is the energy of which you are an extension, so well being, growth, ease, it's all part of who you are as well. So it's a for me, it was very soothing to listen to that, and eventually that led me to the habit, or that led me to a place where meditation became a daily habit for me, or something that I did on the regular because I knew of the profound impact it had on me. And this was not even like a half an hour or a 1 hour meditation, just 15 minutes, but it changed my life dramatically. So, a resolute commitment to this specific habit, along with journaling, had completely shifted my life. It made me realize the value of true soothing, because this practice of meditation and journaling both together was a visceral, mindful, a very grounded approach. And that is why I could finally understand the true meaning of soothing. It was not in the validation I got from others. It was not through outward sources of ease or pleasure. I'm not dissing these physical sources of pleasure. In fact, they themselves are very divine if we do it more mindfully. And it was certainly not through trying to figure out solutions in a state of fret or anxiety as well. True soothing for me really meant a connection, a harmonious flow of energy between my mind, body, and soul. So, from now on, when you find yourself in a state where you know you require to soothe yourself to have more ease, and especially if you are drawn to your older ways of coping or soothing, just ask yourself, okay, all right, yep, I am having this thought, yep, I am getting drawn towards this activity again, and it has certainly helped me in the past. I am wiser for it. So now that I'm wiser for it, what could truly bring relaxation? What could truly bring ease for me in this moment? As I'm learning to honor the connection between my mind and body, and the connection of my mind body with myself, how can I have more ease at this point, considering the honor that I would like to give to my own body and mind? Tap into your awareness, really zoom in on it. Just take a few moments as you relax also into this awareness and becomes clearer to you. Take your time with this practice. You will know what to do. You'll be able to figure out or create a tool bag or a toolkit for your own self, especially focusing on the fact that you might want to do it every day, so that it becomes natural for you to have that state of mind, that state of being where your body, mind, and soul all are at ease. And if meditation is something that does not appeal to you, definitely look for activities that slow your mind down, even if it's just by 1%. It could look like just listening to birds chirping in a garden, sky gazing, taking up dance movements or body movements that are slow and mindful in nature. So, if it's not dance, actually, yoga classes would help you more, or just simply doing simple yoga exercises would be very helpful for you. Or it could be mindfully making food. If you like to create food, you are fully present when you're chopping that vegetable, when you're taking out the condiments, when you are selecting the spices you would like to use, when you're selecting the recipe itself, essentially, that you would like to create at that point in time. That in itself could be a very mindful exercise. Remember to keep breathing very mindfully, wherein you take deep breaths in till the end of your stomach and it expands, and when you release, it contracts, and you can, you know, you are one with the movement of that breath as well. So, all of these activities could take time to develop or to ingrain in your day to day life. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Actually, that is how it should be. In fact, learn ways or learn tools or learn for yourself what is it that calms your mind down. One of these activities could very well be just listening to the sound of the fan, is the sound, that could also help you relax a lot. Basically, anything that connects you with the now, because the point of power always lies in the present moment. It is always in the now. So, when an empath or an energy sensitive person is settled into, is grounded in this state of calmness, that is exactly when they truly get to realize the power of who they are, the gift of their own existence, the gift of the kindness, the compassion, the soothing energy that you bring to the world. You will become more aware of it because you're calmer, and you will be able to listen to your energy more, listen to who you are, your inner being, even more. The other thing that has actualized for me personally, as well as an energy sensitive person, is the power of my focus. When I have this clarity, when I have this groundedness in myself, if that's the word, I mean groundedness in myself, that is when I realize the power of my focus. Just shifting glances changes my focus. It becomes so evident in your being how strong your capacity is in terms of receiving energy and even sending energy, because you are clearer, your channel is clearer, you are able to receive clearly, you are able to, because you're able to receive clearly, you can be more intentional with what you are giving out. And by more intentional, I mean without exhausting yourself, yet still coming from a place of power, from a place of compassion, from a place of genuinely wanting to care for others, including yourself. And so, this is what I have realized, and I hope that it helps you as well. The true soothing really helps you to tap into your strength as an energy sensitive person, or as an empath, or as someone who's deeply, deeply compassionate. Let's not succumb to our power without knowing how it works. Rather, know it well, know it inside out, and make it one of our biggest strengths. So that's all that I have. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form, and I hope to meet you in the next video. Bye bye.